Too late.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Can't see it. There it is. Listen first.
We're not starting.
Soon.
You got a moment.
Okay.
Are they coming?
Take that away.
Okay.
Yeah. Bottom bar. Whenever you're ready.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Otherwise I'll step over. Whatever.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the semifinals of the 2021 VLA Cup. I'm Rob St. Clair in a very exciting matchup here, an all-California battle between SoCal's Rising Tide and Northern California out of San Francisco. Team SportConX in a rematch from Pool B on Friday, where the Rising Tide beat SportConX 3-1. These teams had very interesting roads to get to this point in the semifinals. SportConX having to go through the play-in round, defeating the Phoenix Ascension 3-0, and then defeating a very good Boston Bounce team 3-0 as well. A lot of talent on SportConX, but not a lot of depth. Only 9 guys on the roster this weekend, so if they have to go to the bench, there will be very few options. Conversely, the Rising Tide has a super deep team. They got second place in their pool, got a bye straight into the bracket, and defeated New York's Team LVC's second team 3-1 yesterday to reach this point. So let's take a look at the starting lineups. First, for the Southern California Rising Tide. A late change. It'll be number 7 in blue, Lewis Richard, instead of Miles Mangatutia in the outside hitter spot. But a lot of depth, like I mentioned. Chris Johnson, a big name in the middle. Jacob Schmiegelt starting at the other middle blocker spot with Raelia Speller and Chris Kahns, the opposite and setter respectively for the Rising Tide. They are coached by Ryan Windish. But expect some substitutions to come in quickly off the bench. They're going to use that depth that they have. And now for SportConX. The libero will be number 1, Thomas Nelson, who's played a lot of outside hitter this weekend, leaving only 2 outside hitters in Kirill Rodenko and Nick Iorfino, both really good players, both out of UC San Diego. And the opposite, Colin Hackworth, a huge story. Number 18 in black, Colin Hackworth, opposite out of Lindenwood, will get a ton of balls for this SportConX team, and a 3-headed monster in the middle. All 3 out of Stanford, the 2 they're choosing this time, Stephen Moy and Kevin Rakestraw. So I want to thank you all very much for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel if you're not already. First serve coming up here in the semifinals in just a few moments. Moy now a 1-point lead, 4 serving 3. Johnson out of the middle on the 31. Kind of a swing and a miss that time. The connection not there between Johnson and Chris Cons. Like I mentioned, really early in the morning for these two teams, these two Californian teams. Might take a little while for them to find a rhythm here in this early morning match, but a lot of volleyball left to play. 5-3 San Francisco. Good pass by Richard. Repeat set that time from Cons to Johnson, and that pancake play by Rudenko not quite able to be made. Chris Johnson, number 23 in blue, 6'11", monster of a middle blocker out of Cal Baptist University, spent several years in the U.S. national team system. Good serve by Richard, working on Iorfino down the line, but an even better pass. And Rakestraw cross body. Puts it away out of the middle. Big number 17 in black. 7 feet tall, Kevin Rakestraw, the tallest player on any roster this weekend. Had a very good collegiate career at Stanford. Hackworth here from the service line. Perhaps SportConX's most important player. Is that an ace serve? Yes, it is. What a rip down the line, wrist away by Hackworth, right on the sideline. And the big 6'9" opposite, Dublin, Ohio native out of Lindenwood University. His game has continued to elevate since going overseas to Greece and the Czech Republic, now living in the Bay Area. Seven 4 San Francisco. Going after that one for Adira in position 1. Not a good pass. Speller will have to take an out-of-system swing. Read by Nelson on the off-speed shot. Rudenko out of the pipe. Hits it out of bounds. No touch. And a missed opportunity there for SportConX. The service pressure from Hackworth put Rising Tide way out of system. But San Francisco unable to take advantage on the free ball. Now Lewis Richard back to the service line. See who he targets with this jump spinner. Really good pass by Rudenko. Hackworth down the line. Did he tag the sideline? No, not quite. Missed just barely out of bounds by number 18 in black. And the Rising Tide back within 1. 6 serving 7 against San Francisco's position 4, rotation 4 receive. That serve missed just barely out of bounds by Richard. Only a matter of time before these two teams start to go after it just a little bit more from the service line. You saw it from Hackworth. Iorfino here, also out of UC San Diego, a very capable server. Kubi tipped down the line and a really smart off-speed shot offensively by the Frenchman. Ryan Bridge, the SportConX captain and setter, number 12 in black. Good size at 6'4", but Kubi, a sensational athlete, can take advantage of that particular matchup. Good pass by Nelson. This is Rudenko, off the fingertips of the block, dug by Richard. Rakestraw beats Cons on the joust, but the second joust won by Cons. Wow, what a play by the Rising Tide. And Chris Cons substantially outmatched in the size matchup between him and Kevin Rakestraw. I mean, who wouldn't be? Rakestraw's 7 feet tall. But he pushes through the joust and we're tied up at 8. Rudenko over the top of the block, got the fingertips. Oh, no touch called. Called by the line judge on the near side, but overruled by the up official. So a hitting error for Rudenko, and Rising Tide takes the lead 9-8. Nelson, Iorfino out of the pipe. That is a really good swing to get SportConX out of a bit of a tough rotation. First look at Rakestraw from the service line. Just look at how big this dude is. Actually a very dangerous float serve. Right in the seam between Kubi and Richard. Passed pretty well. Schmiegeld out of the middle. Iorfino can run this down. Rakestraw has a swing at it, but he misses it short into the net. And an unforced error that time by the middle blocker in left back defense. Kahns back to serve. Speller the opposite into the front row. Bridge to Moy in the middle, dug by Speller. Richard out of the pipe through the block of Rudenko somehow and down to the floor on the SportConX side. The SportConX offense not operating totally at its top level just this second, and Rising Tide, such a good team, will take advantage of that. Oh, what a play by Bridge. Oh, I disagree with that call. Wow. Bridge threw that ball into the block of Kubi and tried to wipe it out of bounds. He got that out of bounds, but the call is that Bridge touched it last. Bang, bang play, tough to call correctly, but typically the offensive player who initiates the contact gets that call, but not this time. Rising Tide with a 3-point lead here. Moy out of the middle, off the shoulder of Richard and kept alive. Kubi has to send over a free ball. Moy again. Rudenko into the block. What a cover by Iarfino. Rudenko again, tipped, kept alive by Schmiegelt. Big swing here coming from Kubi. High off the hands, and a net violation by SportConX. Gives the point to SoCal. What a play. Lewis Richard got absolutely tagged by that ball in middle back off the shoulder, straight up in the air. And all the momentum on the far side of your screen for the Southern Californians in blue right now. And SportConX wanting a timeout to talk this over. 13-9, set number 1. A lot of volleyball yet to be played here in this best 3 out of 5 set match. Out of the timeout, the Rising Tide serving on the far side of your screen. Setter Chris Kahns against SportConX rotation 6. Rudenko is rejected by Speller. Excellent high over the net and disciplined move by number 22 in blue with Schmiegelt there as well. Those two guys actually played together internationally for a brief period. Speller and Schmiegelt. Good pass here by Iarfino. Hackworth on the right side. Through a seam in the block and down out of the back row. Hackworth, such a big part of the SportConX offense, has taken a lot of swings this weekend, the only opposite on the roster, but no signs of slowing down. We'll see if Bridge tries to get him more involved these next few points as they try to close this 4-point gap. Rotation 1 receive here. Schmiegelt blocked by Moy and not able to be covered. Really good read there by number 16 in black. Taking that one step to his right to be within range to block the 31. And Moy at about 6'8". Nice handwork that time, pressing over the net quick. Good opportunity here for San Francisco to get back in this set against Rising Tide's rotation 1. Where does Kahns go here? Speller on the left side, dug by Iarfino, but unfortunately negated by a net violation on the block by San Francisco. Point Rising Tide. Rising Tide, one of the founding members of the VLA, playing out of the Tier 1 top level of competition. SportConX in their VLA debut out of Tier 2, but really impressive so far. Wouldn't be surprised if they move up quickly. Good swing that time from Rudenko on the right side. Down the line in rotation 1. A little bit of international flavor for both these teams. Rudenko out of Russia, like I mentioned. And Kubi for Rising Tide, native of Caen in France. Just out of bounds that time on the serve. Richard had to play a little dodgeball to get out of the way of that one. 16-12 Rising Tide. This is Schmiegelt, number 20 in blue. Middle blocker out of Lewis University in Chicago. He's one of the 2 starters on Lewis's 2015 national runner-up team. Really good pass by Iarfino. Quick tempo ball to the outside, dug by Schmiegelt. Big attack to Kubi, and what a smart off-speed shot. Really good read by number 6 in blue offensively. And I love, first of all, I love that big attack run-in system. Pretty good looking transition there, but I also really like off-speed as an offensive option out of that pipe. Not very many teams ready for that defensively. The Rising Tide lead up to 5. Really good pass by Nelson. One-handed set from Bridge, and Moy taps it through the block to the floor on the Rising Tide side. Nice reach by the SportConX captain that time, Ryan Bridge. This is Moy against Rising Tide. Rotation 3 receives. Speller will take an out-of-system swing down the line, dug by Moy, but unable to be controlled. Really nice wrist away, inside-out shoulder action that time for number 22 in blue. And a substitution in here, number 24 in blue, Raymond Barsimian, Rising Tide's other opposite, but no recognized setter on court right now. I think they're going to let Speller go back and put on some service pressure, but when he's done, you can expect to see Rob Malahi come in to set the offense. Kind of a delayed 6-2 substitution here for the Rising Tide, leading by 5. Good serve by Speller, excuse me. Iorfino high into the hands. No setter on court. Libero Radiro set this ball. Barsimian terminates cross court. Really good substitution here. Rising Tide head coach Ryan Windish paying off right away with the Aurelia Speller service pressure. And Libero, number 1 in white, Ryan Radira for the Rising Tide, stepping in with the platform set, terminated by Barsimian fresh off the bench. Another out-of-system opportunity. Iorfino rolls it over the top. Dug by Speller. Kubi, well, one-handed set in transition. Did not expect that. Kubi again. But Richard is rejected straight down by Hackworth. That was actually some pretty good-looking offense. Facilitated by Aaron Kubi, the outside hitter turned setter. I didn't know he had that in the bag. Oh, the Rising Tide are going to get this call on a back row attack violation. I saw them complaining about something earlier in the rally, but I wasn't sure what it was. They will take the point, and this run continues on the serve of Aurelia Speller. Now a 7-point lead, 20-13 after that reversed call. And SportConX wanting their second timeout. All Rising Tide here early on. Out of the timeout, Speller continuing to serve. The run continues for the Rising Tide in this really unique rotation with outside hitter Aaron Kubi acting in a setting role, but a good timeout there by SportConX, slowing down the server. And as I expected, Rob Malahi, number 8 in blue, setter out of Pepperdine, will come in for Aurelia Speller. So effectively a 6-2 substitution in now. Malahi the setter, Barsimian the opposite now in what is now rotation 1. Good pass by Radira. Kubi out of the pipe. What a dig by Nelson. Hackworth down the line, off the tape and down. That was an outstanding defensive play by number 1 in white, Thomas Nelson. The libero out of MIT, who had a really good career in Division III. We've seen him play outside throughout the weekend, but just a phenomenal ball control player. SportConX back within 5. This is not over yet. Good serve by Hackworth. Can Richard run it down? No, that's an ace serve. Really well located and high contact point from Hackworth, right in a seam between two passers. And 3 points in a row for SportConX out of that timeout. Really well called and well timed. Another good serve. Richard will have to set this ball way out of system. Barsimian on the left side in rotation 1. And that is a massively important swing. Through a seam and then triple block and down. And that could be a set saving point there for the Rising Tide, getting out of rotation 1 and getting a good server in Hackworth off the line. Now Richard to put on some pressure. Can't quite clear the tape that time. So now it's Iorfino's turn. Huntington Beach native out of UC San Diego, like I mentioned. Cuts that one across, really well handled by Richard Johnson. Absolutely punished to the floor out of the middle. Johnson has had his fingerprints all over Rising Tide's matches this weekend. Such a physical presence in the middle. And the connection between him and Malahi continues to improve. Good pass by Nelson again. This is Hackworth on the right side against 2 big blockers. And he's rejected by Schmiegelt. And the SportConX run out of the timeout answered here by the Rising Tide. Now 23-17. Southern Californians on the verge of getting on the board here. First thing in the morning in the semifinals. Bridge to Rakestraw on the back one. Nice shoulder work wrist away by big number 17 in black there. But he's really got to put on the service pressure here in this rotation. Rising Tide in rotation 3. Barsimian, a big option already with 2 MVP on the awards on the weekend. Good serve by Rakestraw working on Richard short. This is Kubi on the outside. High off the hands of Bridge and out of play. And set points coming up here for the Rising Tide. 6 of them. Speller back into the match. Replaces Malahi. So the same thing as before with no recognized setter on the floor. Barsimian gonna serve. And you can expect Kubi to act as the setter if the Rising Tide gets into transition. 24-18. Oh, Barsimian really went after that one. Tried to go to the position 5 sideline on the SportConX side, but missed it short. So 1 set point saved. Khan's back in, the setter for the Rising Tide. Now with 5 opportunities to side out to win set number 1. Kubi on the right side rolled. Good play made by Nelson. Opportunity here in transition for Hackworth on the right side. Through the block and right on the end line. That was an excellent read by Thomas Nelson defensively. All over that off-speed shot from Aaron Kubi. So another set point saved by San Francisco. And even if they can't make this comeback, the more set points they can save, the more momentum they can generate on their side going into set 2 in the rest of this match. Good serve there by Bridge, working on Kubi. Speller for the set, tipped over the top of the antenna and out of bounds. So another set point saved, now 21-24. Still several opportunities for the Rising Tide to win this set, but starting to feel the pressure just a little bit. Applied nicely by San Francisco. Perfect pass by Radira. Kubi for the set, and there's the off speed. Tip to the floor that time, cross court into the center of the court, and that's it, 25-21. The SoCal Rising Tide on the board first here in our first semifinal of the 2021 VLA Cup. A lot more volleyball coming your way here this morning live from the Ball Sports Academy. We'll be right back.
Absolutely. No, I'm using it right now. teeny bit more.
Set number 2 coming your way live. Thanks for joining us again live on the VLA YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rob St. Clair. Really excited about these 2 semifinals. The 11 incredible teams that were in this tournament, now down only to 4. An all-California battle here, and we're really looking forward to the next semifinal, which will be another rematch from Friday, SoCal's Rukkus against the defending champion, the Chicago Icemen. So that coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. But first, let's get back to the first semifinal. Ryan Bridge serving for San Francisco's SportConX on the far side of your screen. Good pass by Kubi in rotation 1. Schmigel rejected by Moy. Really nice read that time by number 16 in black again with Hackworth there as well. Thanks to Dan Pawlikowski all the way from Denmark in the chat. Aaron Kubi 5 kills. Hackworth 5 kills, 2 aces for 7 points to lead all scorers. Really good touch that time by Moy, but not quite able to be run down by the SportConX defense. Kubi here serving, doing a really good job this match, showing all of his skills, including setting, which I did not expect. Rudenko on the right side, into the block, and Speller unable to make the defensive play short on the Rising Tide side. Good high swing that time by number 5 in black. Let's see if Rudenko can dial up the pressure. I know he's capable of it. Pretty good rip that time, handled really well by Radira. This is Richard off the block of Hackworth and out of play. Nice smooth side out that time by the Rising Tide. Here's Schmigel, the middle blocker out of Lewis. Rotation 3 receive here for San Francisco. Good pass by Rudenko. Iorfino hammered down the line. Nice crossbody rip that time by number 3 in black. Speller left him a good bit of space. That's Kahn's defensive responsibility and right back there. New middle blocker in this set for SportConX. Number 9 in black, Denny Falls, replaces Kevin Rakestraw. That float serve out of bounds by Moy. Falls, another middle blocker out of Stanford. Johnston into the front row for the Rising Tide. Speller serving. Tied up at 3 here in set number 2. Just barely out of bounds on the heavy jump spinner by Speller. So a big opportunity here for San Francisco early in this set with a good server back at the line. Rotation 4 received for the Rising Tide. Good rip by Hackworth, but an even better pass by Richard. He'll get this ball on the left side, down the line. What a dig. Speller dug by Rudenko somehow. Iorfino with a massive opportunity in transition, dug by Kubi. Kubi on the Bic, hammered wrist away. I love that offense from the Rising Tide. We've noticed them run that kind of differently spaced Bic attack to Kubi just behind the setter. Very interesting. Still run at the same tempo, but a different spacing on the court. Very difficult for teams to expect that. Nice range that time for number 6 in blue. Here's Richard. Great pass by Rudenko. There's the Bic attack, run and return, but the ball into the ceiling, immediately out of bounds. Pretty good touch there from Radira, and not very often this weekend in the Ball Sports Academy has the ceiling come into play. but it did that time, and international rules in the VLA, ball into the ceiling immediately out of bounds off the last team to touch it. Nice run that time by Bridge. I love him taking a page out of Rising Tide's book, immediately returning one big attack with another. Good pass by Kubi. Johnson! That is just such a good swing. Quick, high contact, a lot of range right on the sideline and over the top of 2 blockers. I don't know how you can be expected to stop that. Tied up at 5. We'll see how long it takes the Rising Tide in this set to go back to that 6-2 substitution like we saw earlier. I actually like that play from Windish a lot. Could come in the next rotation or maybe the next time around. Tipped out of the middle by Falls. Connection not quite there. Transition opportunity here. Kubi tried to throw it off the block, and that ball was about to be in. Diving play by Iarfino, not able to be made. Kubi really showing his range offensively. Really good vision throwing that ball to the deep corner down the line. And it's good enough to score. Rising Tide takes the lead. Bridge to Rudenko, and he's rejected by Khans. Khans 6'1" or 2 at most, but really athletic and a good disciplined move that time, sealing the cross court away from Kirill Rudenko. That's a huge bonus for the Rising Tide in that rotation. They lead 7-5. Hackworth crushed down the line out of the back row. That is such a great high-level swing. Really like that range from number 18 in black. I could watch right-handed opposites hit the ball down the line on that right side all day. Just so much fun to watch. First look at Falls from the service line. Good pass by Richard. Schmiegel touched off the block, but the second touch unable to be made with no libero on the floor in that rotation for SportConX. Back to some more comfortable rotations here for the Rising Tide with Khans in the back row. Not a good pass that time by Rudenko. Hackworth will have an out-of-system swing. Rolled over short. Good bump set that time by Speller and hammered cross-court by Kubi. That is outstanding transition defense into offense by the SoCal Rising Tide. Good defensive play by Khans. An excellent second set from the offset Aurelia Speller. And sharp cross-court by Kubi. 9-6. Not a good pass there by Iarfino. He'll have to take a swing at this out of the pipe. Handled easily by Radira. Schmiegel, high, hard, and down out of the middle. And the momentum here all on the Rising Tide side. And just as I expected, SportConX will take a timeout to talk this over. Trailing now by 4, 10-6 in favor of Southern California. We'll be right back after the timeout. Khans serving again out of the timeout here for the Rising Tide. Working on SportConX's rotation 6. What a smart tip by Ryan Bridge. First setter dump we've seen from either team, and really good timing there just when SportConX needed it the most. Bridge, the front row setter, fully within his rights to tap that one over on the second contact. 7-10. Good pass by Radira. Schmiegel out of the middle, dug by Bridge, but underneath the net, couldn't be rescued. Schmiegel doing a really nice job here early on, blocking and being available to attack the ball. Here's Kubi, lead back to 4 for the Rising Tide. Hackworth here hitting on the left for SportConX. in rotation 1. Moy out of the middle. Tipped off the block and down short on the Rising Tide side. The Rising Tide block there on the 31, barely too slow to stop Stephen Moy. Here's Rudenko, and if there's a time for a little bit of service pressure for SportConX, it's right now. Right on cue, ace serve. Clean ace too. That was a thing of beauty, wrist away, right inside the sideline. Fantastic piece of service there from Kirill Rudenko. Nothing Lewis Richard can do. Can he do it again? Similar serve, handled by Richard off the net. Speller will take an out-of-system swing and absolutely crush down the line, wrist away. That's an excellent piece of offense there from the Rising Tide. Good set by Cons. Got his feet there. Gave Speller plenty of space off the net to work with. And number 22 in blue flexing his athleticism. Now Schmiegel to serve. That serve called in. Initially, line judge with a little bit of indecision, but no complaint from SportConX about the call on that Schmiegelt service ace. The Rising Tide lead back up to 4. Schmiegelt again. Is that 2 in a row? Yes, it is. That serve had so much topspin on it. Nelson could not make the diving play forward to keep it controlled. 2 in a row for the middle blocker, Jacob Schmiegelt. And the Rising Tide lead is 5. Schmieg's going after that one. Why not? Not nearly as much topspin there. Misses it well out of bounds. But a really good trip to the line that time for Schmiegelt and the Rising Tide. Now Moy, the middle blocker, serving for Northern California. Good pass by Richard. Speller off the block and out of bounds on the right side. Falls that time. The middle blocker for SportConX very late in getting there. And Speller took advantage, and now in comes Barsimian for Chris Kahn. So that same substitution pattern with a delayed 6-2 that we saw in the last set. Speller going to go after this serve. Kubi will be the setter in transition if they get there. Good serve by Speller. Overpass here. Kubi will set this ball to Barsimian on the right side, high into the hands. Speller makes a coverage play, but overpassed and slapped to the floor by Nick Iorfino. So now the second half of the 6-2 will come in. Malahi replaces Speller to keep a front row opposite and a back row setter. Richard, the outside hitter, hitting on the right. Barsimian, the opposite, on the left against the serve of Hackworth. Good matchup here for SportConX. And a good serve. Is that an ace? Absolutely. Right in a seam between two passers and wide of the sideline on the Northern California side. Really good serve that time by number 18 in black. Can he do it again? Good pass by Richard. Barsimian absolutely destroyed cross court, and that is a total mismatch. The 6'7" Barsimian against the block of setter Ryan Bridge for San Francisco. Pretty comfortable 4-point lead here for Southern California. 16-12, rotation 4 receive for SportConX. Well watched by Rudenko as that serve misses out of bounds. And SportConX needing a little something. Not a whole lot going on in the blocking area. And other than the one Rudenko ace, not a lot going on in the ace column either. Gonna have to find a way to score some points on serve here. Good pass by Radira and put away out of the middle. Nice adjustment there by big Chris Johnson. Ball set maybe a little bit too low. But number 23 in blue adjusted, and he'll go back to serve. Really good pass by Nelson. Platform set out to Rudenko. Sharp cross court. What a dig by Kubi. He'll get an out-of-system swing at this, and he puts it away high off the fingertips. Wow. What an individual effort that time by Aaron Kubi, the Frenchman out of UC Irvine, playing great defense in that off-blocker spot in left front. Then getting plenty of footwork and hitting high hands against the triple block in transition. Rising Tide lead is 5. Rudenko down the line. Did he catch the sideline? Yes, he did. Nice swing that time by number 5 in black, just tagging the white sideline to get SportConX out of that rotation. 14-18. SportConX running out of time here to make this run to avoid digging themselves a 2-0 set hole. Kubi again! So fast, so explosive, high, deep cross court and terminates, and that is pretty much unstoppable. So now the delayed 6-2 is going to come in again. The first half here, Speller into the front row for Malahi, Barsimian to serve, and Kubi will act as the setter in transition for this one moment. Good rip by Barsimian, handled pretty well by Nelson. This is Hackworth out of the back row, right on the end line. Just a fantastic swing by Colin Hackworth again. And now the second half of the 6-2 sub for the Rising Tide going to come in the form of Chris Collins. If I'm Ryan Bridge, I'm giving Colin Hackworth every possible ball here for SportConX to try to make this comeback. Kubi on the right side is rejected by Rudenko. Nice high penetration there by the right hand of number 5 in black, and a big opportunity for SportConX in this rotation. Effectively rotation 1 for the Rising Tide. The deficit trimmed to 3, 16-19. Float serve working on Kubi's hands, passed well off the net. Speller will take an out-of-system swing. Wow, what a huge bailout moment there for number 22 in blue. Nice footwork, keeping himself behind that ball, and puts it away deep cross court. That's a big swing. Kubi now serving against SportConX rotation 1, clips the tape, handled by Iarfino. Rudenko adjusts on the right side into the block and covered. Rudenko again off the block and just out of bounds. That was such a smart play by Kirill Rudenko on that first offensive opportunity. Hit softly into the block. His intention was to cover that on his own side and get another opportunity, which is exactly what he did. Now he goes back to serve, and he had that ace earlier in the set. Would be a great time for another one. Good pass, though, by Radera. Richard, high off the block of Hackworth and out of play. Great set by Cons, generating the one-on-one, but it all started with a very good pass by libero number 1 in white and blue, Ryan Radera. Schmiegelt had that run of 2 aces last time, is largely responsible for this Rising Tide lead. Can he do it again? Good pass there, Hackworth on the right side. What a block cover. Moy high off the fingertips, transition opportunity here for the Rising Tide. Richard on the right side, down the line, and Nelson couldn't handle the heat. Good block that time by Speller and Johnson against Hackworth in the front row for SportConX. Really turned that point into the Rising Tide's favor, eventually terminated by Richard. And now the SoCal lead back up to 5. SportConX, recognizing they're running out of time, will call their last timeout. We'll be right back for the conclusion of set number 2. Can the Rising Tide finish this one out to go up 2-0? Stick around. Schmiegelt here serving out of the timeout. Big moment here in this match. SportConX has to have this point to really have a chance in this set. Oh, that ball almost landed in off the tape on the SportConX side, but misses the sideline. So good timeout there from San Francisco, triggering the service error. But now some work to do on the serve of Stephen Moy. Oh, not a good service error that time by Moy. And set points coming up. 6 of them for the Rising Tide. Or no, actually not yet. My apologies. The score 23-18. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. What's Speller got here? Tough pass. Bridge can run it down. Irafino will take an out-of-system swing and buries it into the net, trying to slice off too sharp of a cross-court angle, and now set points for the Rising Tide. 24-18. Speller, a lot of pressure put on last time. Can he do it again? Speller, overpassed. Richard for the set, and he's absolutely roofed by Colin Hackworth. What a block by number 18 in black, denting the floorboards. Lewis Richard put down harshly. So another set point saved by SportConX. Hackworth back to the line. Definitely a little momentum turnaround there. Can SportConX ride that wave? Good pass by Kubi. Johnson for the set, and he puts it away. Excellent pass that time by number 6 in blue. And big Chris Johnson making no mistake about that one. And the Rising Tide continuing to rise to the occasion here in the semifinals, leading 2-0 over their in-state rivals. SportConX not going to go down without a fight. We will be right back in a few minutes with set number 3. Stick around. For a second. Welcome back, everyone, live from the 2021 VLA Cup Semifinals. I'm Rob St. Clair, the Rising Tide with a 2-0 lead. And like I mentioned earlier, SportConX with not a whole lot of depth on their bench to go to if they want to make any changes. The Rising Tide have used a couple little runs and some service pressure to get these margins that they've been able to keep. SportConX really searching for answers on how to serve and how to score on their serve. Some of the pressure has been there, made a couple good block moves, but it hasn't been consistent enough to slow down the high level of this Rising Tide team, who leads 2-0. Can they complete the sweep to beat SportConX twice on the weekend, or will we go to set 4? We're about to find out here in the third from the VLA Cup 2021 semifinals. Thanks to Dan Palikowski again in the chat for some stats. Aaron Kubi up to 10 kills, the new offensive leader for the match. He was really impressive in that second set. And a big output in the second for Jacob Schmiegelt. 4 kills, 2 aces, and a block. 7 points in 1 set for a middle blocker is a huge contribution. So after a little bit of a delay, we are about ready to get underway here in the third. SportConX in black on the near side of your screen. Going to start receiving in rotation 6. No changes for the Rising Tide, but you can expect that same 6-2 substitution to come in again at some point midway through the set. I like that move from Ryan Windish, taking advantage of his depth and the substitution allowances. Rudenko, sharp cross court off the defensive effort of Kubi and out of play. A good start there for SportConX. Bridge, the San Francisco captain, will be the first server. Not a very good pass by Kubi. This is Speller, sharp cross court. What a dig by Nelson. Schmiegel absolutely hammered wrist away out of the middle. Nice transition offense there. Rising Tide sides out the second time of asking in that rally, and we're tied up at 1. Not a very good pass by Nelson. This will be Rudenko taking an out-of-system swing, high into the fingertips. And Rudera can't make the defensive play on the pancake. Good high swing that time by number 5 in black, getting his team out of a little bit of a tough situation. Good rip that time by Rudenko. Kubi able to keep it alive. Good cover by the Rising Tide, but overpassed and tipped to the floor by Iarfino. Nice block there by Hackworth, set it up, but that was really all about the Kirill Rudenko service pressure. 3-1 San Francisco. Clips the tape, handled by Rodera. Where does Cons go? Schmiegelt. Good diving play made by Nelson, and a net violation committed by Schmiegelt as he hits the overpass. What a defensive play by number 1 in white that time. Thomas Nelson diving to his left with the one-handed scoop, and SportConX takes the point on the net violation. 4-1, I believe, San Francisco's largest lead of the match in any set. Rudenko again. Working down the line that time. Pretty good pass from Rodera. Speller absolutely destroyed down the line. What a bomb by number 22 in blue. That was awesome. So the Rising Tide gets Rudenko off the line. And we already talked about Schmiegelt's service run in set 2. Can he do it again? That was closer than I thought it was going to be as it left his hand, but out of bounds, well watched by Nelson. Here's Moy. There's quite a bit of space down the line to Rodera's right. I wonder if he sees that and they'll go there. No, instead working on Kubi. Handled pretty well. Speller on the right side again. What a dig by Rudenko. That's kept alive, but unfortunately falls. A quick reaction, but not able to send that ball over in the court on the third contact. Good swing there by Speller, who's really starting to heat up. Can he continue that from the service line in this rotation? Going for the deep corner in position 1 and not missing it by much. But the San Francisco lead back up to 3. Here's Hackworth. Good serve, putting the pressure on. Iarfino on the overpass. Puts it away off the block of Cons and down. And that is all Colin Hackworth on the serve. The momentum firmly on the San Francisco side, and Rising Tide using their first timeout early on here in set number 3. Trying to flip the switch. Nice effort here by San Francisco out of the gate in set number 3, but trailing by 2 sets. We'll see if they can keep it up here in just a moment. Here's Hackworth again out of the timeout. Can he keep this serve in, first of all? He can. Handled pretty well by Richard. Kubi out of the back row, missed it out of bounds. No, actually right on the sideline. Maybe Hackworth just thought it was going to be out of bounds. But nice range there by Kubi, crossbody, tagging that sideline out of the back row, and a good timeout by the Rising Tide. They get the side out right away. Good pass on the short serve by Iarfino. Rudenko out of the pipe. Wrist away into the chest of Radira and then into the antenna. So a point for San Francisco. Again, Ryan Bridge immediately responding to Rising Tide's pipe attack with one of his own. Here's Iarfino. Handled really well by Richard. Kubi, what a beautiful off-speed shot. Wow, that was so well disguised. Waited until the absolute last moment to casually roll that one to the floor. I love that play. Tied back within 3, but SportConX siding out really efficiently right now. Good pass here by Nelson. Falls out of the middle, not a great connection. Opportunity here in transition. Speller out of the back row, crushed down the line again. And the connection not quite there between Bridge and Falls. And that easy of an opportunity is going to be taken advantage of by the Rising Tide every time. Hackworth badly misses out of bounds out of the back row. Oh, wait a minute. SportConX going to take the point there on a net violation. Wow, that's a huge break. Rising Tide into the net. That attack by Hackworth was not even close. But before the ball was down, the net violation committed by the Rising Tide. Our officials are going to talk about this. The call will stand with SportConX, so that's a huge break. Bailing Hackworth out of that hitting error. San Francisco's lead once again is 3, 9-6. Not a good pass by Kubi, tapped down by Moy, and not able to be covered. Good foot service pressure that time by Denny Falls. Service pressure not all about hitting jump serves as hard as you can. These knuckly float serves that are hit from this high of a contact point by Falls at about 6'7" can be just as effective. Better pass from Kubi that time. He'll get this ball on the outside. High, deep cross court, and Iarfino can't handle the heat. Tied back within 3. No 6-2 substitution this time around. Khan's the server. Iarfino, the connection not there out of the back row. Kind of a swing and a miss. The spacing on the bick there, not communicated between the setter and attacker. So the unforced error brings SoCal back within 2. SportConX got to be careful here. He can't give Rising Tide any free points. Rudenko, sharp cross court right on the sideline. That is a really good high-level swing and an excellent delivery that time from Ryan Bridge. Bridge here serving against Rising Tide's rotation. 1 receives. Speller and Kubi on the opposite pins from what they're used to, but have proven to be really effective in this rotation. Richard out of the pipe. What a dig by Nelson. Out of system opportunity here. Iorfino out of the pipe. High off the hands of Schmiegelt and out of play. What a defensive play again by Thomas Nelson. Just fantastic defense by San Francisco, and they take advantage right away. Nice aggressive high swing by Iorfino. Out of system, out of the pipe that time. And the SportConX lead back up to 4. Huge transition play. Speller, pretty good block touch by Moy to slow it down. But Nelson, running towards the SportConX bench, can't quite make the defensive play. I think the SportConX block has done a really good job committing to the space that they're taking up on the pins, and the defense has adjusted around that. You're starting to see more digs, and San Francisco able to turn those into points. Hackworth high off the hands of Schmiegelt, not a play on the left side. This is the variety of SportConX volleyball that has gotten them to this point so far. Super clean inside out, taking advantage of any transition opportunities and generating those transition opportunities with well set up block and defense. Another really good serve by Rudenko. Richard will have an out of system swing. Huge opportunity here. Iorfino hammered down the line in transition. That is such good high level volleyball by San Francisco. And it all started with a service pressure by Kirill Rudenko again. Really a big factor back there at the service line. 14-9. Another bomb of a serve handled pretty well by Radira. Speller a little bit inside. Opportunity here for Nelson to set this ball. Hackworth out of system. Over the top of the block and dug by Kubi. Kubi out of the pipe. Nelson unable to make the adjustment fast enough. Pretty good choice there by Kubi again, tipping that ball deep out of the back row. So Schmiegelt, the server, really dangerous like we've seen already in this match. Can he get this deficit within 4? Good pass by Nelson. Hackworth, a little bit of an inside set. Dug down the line by Kubi. And then Richard off the block and out of bounds. Man, the margin of error is so fine at this high of a level. That set by Bridge just a tiny bit too tight for Hackworth to get a real swing at. Rising Tide with a good defensive touch turned into a point right away. They're back within 3. Schmiegelt again. That is a really good looking serve. Some nasty, like kind of sort of hybrid spin on that one. Into a seam between 2 passers, but missed just barely out of bounds. Sigh of relief there for SportConX for sure as Moy goes back to serve. Good float serve handled by Kubi. Johnson out of the middle, tipped and handled by Iorfino. Transition opportunity here. Quick ball by Iorfino on the left side and pounded down the line again. That is a fast transition set by Ryan Bridge. Good footwork there by Iorfino, making that defensive play, getting out in transition and up quickly. And a lot of space left by Speller blocking down the line. Here's Moy again. Good float serve, overpass and tap to the floor by Falls. You can read the Mikasa on that ball all the way across the net on that float serve by Stephen Moy. That is just nasty. The SportConX lead all the way up to 6, 17-11. Really nice effort here by San Francisco, down 2-0. Not a good pass there by Richard. Cons to Johnson on the back 1. That is such a good play by the Rising Tide. Cons pushed all the way to the left side of his court. Johnson communicating with him up there quick, right behind the setter, and put away crossbody. And here is the delayed 6-2. So Speller serving, but Barsimian into the front row for the Rising Tide. Great pass by Rudenko. Iorfino again, pretty good touch by Richard. Barsimian challenges the block. Rudenko out of the back row is roofed by Johnson. That was an excellent block touch that time by Lewis Richard, number 7 in blue, slowing down Nick Iorfino down the line, where he's had a lot of success lately, and it turns into a rising tide point. That's a really good adjustment by the SoCal block. Speller going for the deep zone 5 corner, but misses it out of bounds, and now the second half of the 6-2 will come in. Rob Malahi, the setter out of Pepperdine. Here's Hackworth. Good rip, but really well handled by Radira. Malahi Johnson, good touch by Falls, but a diving Nelson can't quite rescue it. Back into play for SportConX. This 6-2 substitution for the Rising Tide throughout this match has really paid dividends. No drop off and side out efficiency. Good short serve there, handled by Nelson. Platform set out to Hackworth on the right side, and he's rejected by Johnson and Kubi. Excellent move there by number 23 in blue. Up high, taking away that cross-court seam. Nice service variety this time by Richard. Normally a jump spin server, working on the float serve short on Nelson. Another good one there, but an even better pass. Dumped by Bridge twice in a row. And it ends up working the second time. The Kubi dig goes underneath the net, or Richard defensively, excuse me. If at first you don't succeed, try again on the setter dump. 19-15 San Francisco. Iorfino unleashing from the service line. Pretty good pass from Richard. Kubi, good touch by Falls. Iorfino runs it down. This will be Hackworth out of the back row. Big swing through the triple block and dug. The jumping platform send over by Barsimian. Rudenko, somebody was in the net there on the Rising Tide, but the kill anyway for San Francisco. Johnson falls to the floor, will be helped up by his teammates. Looks to be okay. Walking a little slowly. SportConX does take that point and a 5-point lead, 20-15. We'll see if Johnson can continue or if the Rising Tide have to go to the bench. They do have some middle blocker depth. I think Johnson is going to be able to walk this off. That's really good to see. Yep, Johnson going to stay in on the Rising Tide right sideline in rotation 2. Malahi in the back row. His options are Barsimian, Kubi, and Johnson. Good rip by Iorfino again. Passed off the net by Richard. Kubi against 2 big blockers and over the top of the block of Ryan Bridge. And down. That is a great matchup for the Rising Tide that they continue to exploit. I don't hate the idea of a blocking substitution for SportConX. Maybe put Kevin Rakestraw in place of Ryan Bridge to block in these late stages of sets. Oh, what a beautiful set choice that time by Bridge. Iorfino flying out of the back row and detonating crossbody. That is such a good set choice. Falls with a 5-point lead, closing in on a set victory. Is this going to be an ace serve? No, not quite. Barsimian, dug by Hackworth. Iorfino out of the pipe again. What a beautiful shot. That is absolutely fantastic. Wow, the cut crossbody by Nick Iorfino right on the sideline. Absolutely nobody there for the Rising Tide, and the lead back up to 6 is going to trigger a SoCal timeout. Really nice turnaround here from San Francisco in set 3. They are on the verge of getting on the board here in this semifinal and forcing this match to 4. All the energy right now on the SportConX side. San Francisco in black on the near side of your screen playing really well this set, getting back to their brand of volleyball. But getting that early lead really helps. That's been the key to winning all 3 sets so far, if SportConX is able to close on this lead. The team that's gotten a lead early before 10 points has been able to keep it throughout. Good short float serve by Falls, barely kept alive by Richard. Kubi rolled, dug by Iarfino. Really good swing by Rudenko. Excellent out-of-system set as well by Bridge, but beautiful range by number 5 in black. Cross court right in between 2 defenders. Now 23-16. This set pretty much all but over. Remember, the Rising Tide beat this SportConX team 3-1 on Friday in pool play. Falls again, having a lot of success with this short floater lately. There it is again. Handled by Kubi, but passed low. Barsimian off the block of Moy. Another transition opportunity here. Hackworth, really good adjustment, high off the hands of the block and out of play. And now the set points coming up for SportConX. 8 of them, a commanding lead here for San Francisco, who's run away with this set number 3 in the late stages. This has been a really productive rotation with the short float serve of Denny Falls. Going for it again, but missed a little bit too short. But no harm done, really. The delayed 6-2 going to come in here. Actually, no, they're just going to put the full 6-2 in now. Cons and Speller back into the match at the same time for the Rising Tide. Set point, San Francisco. Hackworth for the set. Dug by Richard. Really good defensive play. But Cons with the ball handling error, unable to handle that tight dig. And that's it. San Francisco on the board convincingly, 25-17, and with all the momentum. They take set number 3, and can they do it again to force a tie-breaking 5th? We will be right back with set number 4 live from the 2021 VLA Cup in just a few minutes. Stick around.
I'm finally loosened up now, ready to jump.
Put the camera on me. Just give me a thumbs up. Set number 4 coming your way live from the 2021 VLA Cup Semifinal. I'm Rob St. Clair. Thanks again for joining us live on the VLA YouTube channel. A huge turnaround in that set number 3. San Francisco SportConX got a lead early on and totally played their brand of volleyball. Hackworth, the opposite, and both pins, Iarfino and Rudenko, were really productive that set, including some excellent defensive transition offense. I was impressed with the way that SportConX was able to set up their block and defend around it. They really made some good adjustments there against the Rising Tide offense. Teams are lining up, and I don't see changes from either team. So we'll see how this matchup and these adjustments continue to develop as this set number 4 goes on. Rising Tide leads 2-1, but definitely all the momentum on the San Francisco side of the court right now. Really good all West Coast battle here Sunday morning on Championship Sunday. Thanks for tuning in. We're just about ready for first serve of set 4. Bridge starting us off, handled by Radira. This is Kubi on the right side. Good block touch, handled by Iarfino. Transition opportunity here. Rudenko, sharp cross court. And just inside the sideline. That's just such good offense by San Francisco's SportConX. All started with a really good block touch by middle blocker Stephen Moy. Nick Iarfino had 7 kills in set 3 alone. That's an amazing output for San Francisco. They take the first point on serve. Crushed cross court that time by Speller on the left side. Rotation 1 has not been a weakness for either one of these teams, which is really interesting because it is a struggle for a lot of teams to side out of. But even with the 6-2 substitution in for the Rising Tide throughout this match, giving them double the looks in rotation 1, they have not suffered in that area. Not a good pass there by Nelson. Hackworth will take an out-of-system swing. Rolled and handled by Speller, but well off the net. Richard in transition off the head of Moy. What a play by Nelson. Oh, but SportConX unable to run it down on the second touch. Missed opportunity there for San Francisco, an inspired defensive effort by Thomas Nelson, but the Rising Tide does take the point. Good service pressure there by Kubi. Can he do it again? Better pass this time by Nelson. This is Rudenko on the right side, tipped over the top, blocked by Schmiegel, but covered. Hackworth absolutely detonates sharp cross court off the chest of Lewis Richard and down. With authority, number 18 in black on the left side, bombs away. Rudenko has really heated up from the service line lately, going at Richard down the line. Pretty good pass. Kubi out of the bick, but tipped short into the net, and we've seen that off-speed choice for Aaron Kubi out of the pipe a lot. But it looks like San Francisco's starting to make that adjustment. Both Moy and Iarfino were there that time on that mix-up spacing from the Rising Tide. Really high-level adjustments in the volleyball game going on right now between these two teams. Good serve by Rudenko, putting the pressure on. Speller will have an out-of-system swing. That was an excellent bump set. What a diving play by Nelson, unfortunately overpassed and hammered to the floor by Jacob Schmiegel. That was an incredible bump set by Aaron Kubi from well beyond the end line, perfectly to the right side to Aurelia Speller. Here's Schmiegel, who had that big service run in set 2 that got the Rising Tide that lead that they were able to keep. Good serve. One-handed set by Bridge, and I think a net violation. No, reaching over the net gonna be the call. That ball had not yet gotten into the plane when Richard reached over to touch it. Good play by Bridge, keeping that ball alive. It's really all about the setter being able to make a play to the ball to bait that call. SportConX sides out. Served by Moy, working down the line on Radira. This is Richard on the left side, down the line, but he misses it out of bounds. Just long, that attack that time by number 7 in blue, and SportConX with a big point on serve given by the hitting error. They lead 5-3. Moy with a short floater, handled really well by Radira. Johnson through the block of falls, kept alive, slapped over on 2 by Hackworth. Johnson again, absolutely destroyed through a seam in the block on the 31. That was awesome. Rising Tide General Manager Daniel Davidson in the chat mentioned earlier being 6'10" helps. I think it might be more like 6'11" for Chris Johnson, but you're not wrong. You can't teach height. 4 serving 5, here's Speller. Just out of bounds that time. Well watched by Nelson. Here's Hackworth, has a couple aces in this match already, got a lot of range, depending on who he wants to target. Good pass by Kubi. Johnson again. Levitates and puts it away cross-body. And I think Cons is starting to realize that pretty much nobody in this gym can stop Chris Johnson in an in-system attack. 2 blockers there for SportConX, but it did not matter. We'll see if he continues to go there when the ball is passed well. Here's Richard. Really good pass from Iarfino. Good dig by Speller on the 31. Out of system swing coming here from Kubi against 3 blockers. Rolled over the top and dug by Rudenko. Tipped over, but really good play by Speller. And on the second contact, Chris Johnson using his size advantage, putting that ball down. That was a really nice defensive play by number 22 in blue, Aurelia Speller, picking up that setter dump. And it turns into a Rising Tide point right away. Tied up at 6. Here's Richard again. Good rip, passed decently by Rudenko. Hackworth absolutely hammered down the line on the right side. Man, it is pretty much indistinguishable back row versus front row attack for Colin Hackworth. So big, such a good jumper. Goes and gets the ball at the top of his possible reach. And the Rising Tide block giving him a ton of space down the line that time. Narrow advantage here for San Francisco, 7-6. Johnson again through the block of Denny Falls and out of play. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it for the Rising Tide offense. I would definitely keep feeding Chris Johnson. He goes back to serve now, though. Schmiegel into the front row is the other middle blocker, tied up at 7. Tough pass by Nelson's hands. Rudenko against 2 blockers, dug by Johnson. Kubi on 2, dug by Nelson. What a play. Free ball opportunity here. Kubi again through the block of Falls and out of bounds. What a dig by Chris Johnson. The big middle blocker digging lips and right on the net. Kubi with the presence of mind to go up and take a swing at it. Really turned the tide in that point, no pun intended. Hackworth down the line again on the right side. That is just a fantastic swing off of Johnson and out of play. These two teams really starting to find their own individual rhythms, and they're figuring each other out in the matchup. So many little fine adjustments going on. We're tied up at 8. No team able to separate so far. Speller out of the back row, dug by Hackworth, rescued out of the net by Bridge. Transition opportunity here. Weird play. Kubi will take an out-of-system swing for the Rising Tide, thrown through the block of Bridge and down. That was kind of a wacky point from both teams, but the Rising Tide walk away with it. They take a 9-8 lead again. Kahn's the setter to the back row to serve. Some good blocking rotations here for the Rising Tide against SportConX's rotation 6. Big attack to Iorfino. What a dig by Kahns. Speller down the line. Just spectacular play all around from the SoCal Rising Tide. What a dig by number 3 in blue, Chris Kahns. An incredible inside-out shoulder action from Speller, taking advantage of the space down the line there in transition. That was an awesome play. Rising Tide by 2, 10-8, leading 2-1 here. Good pass by Iorfino. Shot into the middle to Moy. No double contact called. Kubi out of system. Did he get the block touch? Yes, right off the fingertips. Good high aggressive rip that time by number 6 in blue, and SportConX wanting a timeout. This is the run that I've been talking about. At about this point in each of the sets so far, one team has gone on a little bit of a run to pull away, and that team has been able to keep that and win every set so far. The Rising Tide here with the latest move. SportConX taking the timeout to talk this over. We'll be right back. Kahn's continuing to serve out of the timeout here. Working on Rudenko down the line. Bridge wins the joust, but Kubi can have a swing at this. Goes for the off-speed down the line, but misses it short. And a big break for the Rising Tide, who desperately needed to get out of that rotation. Much more favorable rotations here for SportConX as Bridge, the setter, into the back row. Speller through the block somehow and down on the SportConX side. Rising Tide out of rotation 1 again as Kubi, the Frenchman, goes back to serve. Good flat float serve. Hackworth absolutely crushed down the line in rotation 1, right on the sideline. That's a really pretty swing. Again, both opposites, Speller and Hackworth, with back-to-back kills on the left sides for their teams in rotation 1, not losing any rhythm on their non-traditional pin. 10-12. Big opportunity here for Rudenko. Great serve, cuts it short. What a pass by Richard. Kubi on the bick, dug by Bridge, but Hackworth unable to run it down. That was a fantastic read in the serve-receive game by number 7 in blue, Lewis Richard. Good serve by Rudenko, cut that one short. I thought that might even be good enough to score. Richard fights it off, and it turns into a point right away, put away by Aaron Kubi. Big moment there. Rising Tide turning around, 13-10. Clips the tape, and it's an ace serve. Lucky break that time for Southern California. The lead back up to 4. Pretty much impossible for SportConX to react to that fast enough. Schmiegelt again. Perfect pass by Nelson. Moy out of the middle, missed it out of bounds. And the offensive connection between Ryan Bridge and both of his middle attackers, whichever 2 of the 3 it's been throughout this match, has not quite been there. That a pretty much absent aspect of the SportConX offense. A 5-point lead here for the Rising Tide. Schmiegelt serves that ball out of bounds though. Here's Moy, the middle blocker, serving for SportConX. This has actually been a pretty good rotation for them so far in this match. Passed off the net by Radira. Speller taking out a system swing. Off the block and out of bounds. Iorfino was there, but an unlucky deflection off of his inside arm and out of play. And here's the delayed 6-2 for the Rising Tide that we've seen throughout this match. Barsimian into the front row at the opposite. Kubi will act as the setter if SoCal gets into transition. Good serve by Speller, handled pretty well by Rudenko. Hackworth on the right side, good block touch. Kubi, the setter, in transition to Barsimian. Off the block and just barely out of bounds. That is good-looking transition offense facilitated by an outside hitter. Aaron Kubi stepping into the setter role and a pretty good in-tempo delivery to the outside. That is such a resource for Rising Tide to be able to run that in this rotation. The substitution pays off. Speller now up by 6, not a good toss, and unable to adjust to it to keep it inside the end line. So now Malehi will enter the match for the Rising Tide. Here's Hackworth really needing some points in this rotation for SportConX. Good serve, but an even better pass by Kubi. Nobody up out of the pipe. The tip, pancake play made by Rudenko. Platform set coming out to Barsimian, and he's rejected by Falls. The triple block for SportConX coming through. That was an excellent pancake play made earlier in that rally by Kirill Rudenko. Able to pick up that tip by Kubi out of the pipe, and a big point on serve for San Francisco. They're back within 4. Could this be the run that they need? Pretty good pass by Kubi again. Barsimian, sharp cross court. What a dig by Iarafino, but right on the net. Hammered to the floor by Richard. No net violation. That was the ball that touched the top tape, so Rising Tide do get out of the rotation. The lead back up to 5, 18-13. Clips the tape again, another pancake by Rudenko. Iarafino, though, is absolutely roofed by Barsimian. Lucky break there for the Rising Tide as the serve clips the tape, but the massive stuff block by Barsimian puts an exclamation point on that one, and a timeout here coming from SportConX. Running out of time. The Rising Tide can smell the finals. Up 2-1 and up 6 here in set number 4. Have been able to make that separation maybe 10 points ago and keep that lead and even extend it here to this point. Can SportConX make a miraculous comeback to force a 5th? They've got a side out here on the serve of Lewis Richard, first and foremost. Good timeout, forces the service error, so that's the easy part done. Who does Iarafino go after here? Rotation 2, receive here for the Rising Tide. Good serve working on a seam. Radira handles it. Kubi, what a dig by Nelson. Sent over by Rudenko as a free ball. SportConX scrambling. Barsimian tipped down the line and right on the sideline. Nice scramble by SportConX to keep that one alive. But the Rising Tide take advantage of the free ball. They side out the second time of asking in that rally. 2014 now. Lead back up to 6. Good pass by Nelson. Hackworth on the inside, set out of the back row. Absolutely crushed cross court. And the SoCal block may have overrun that one just a little bit. The set from Bridge a little bit too far inside. Hackworth bombs away cross court with the Rising Tide block not adjusting to take that shot away from him. 15-20. Falls last set had a lot of success serving short. This one handled easily by Kubi. Schmiegel crushed crossbody out of the middle. Big side out there from the Rising Tide, getting out of what was a tough rotation in the last set. And now the full 6-2 coming back in here for the Rising Tide. Chris Kahn serving with Speller back into the front row at the opposite. 21-15. Crushed out of the middle by Stephen Moy. And there's that middle attack that SportConX has been looking for lately. Worked to perfection that time, but again, siding out is the easy part for them. Down by 5, needing a lot of points on serve. This is an excellent blocking rotation though for San Francisco, about as good as they can ask for. Tough pass by Kubi. Kahns rescues it, and Kubi though misses it short into the net, so nice service pressure there on the float server, Ryan Bridge. Absolute pivotal turning point here in this match. Rising Tide receiving in rotation 1 against SportConX's best possible blocking lineup. Can they continue to string a couple points together on serve? Pretty good pass by Kubi. Speller through the block somehow. And down to get Rising Tide out of that rotation. That is a huge play. 22-17, Kubi with the serve. Rotation 1 receive here for San Francisco. Good flat floater, handled really well by Iarafino, and hit out of bounds by Stephen Moy. What a crucial unforced error. Wrist away off the tape and deflected out of bounds, no touch. So now the Rising Tide can really smell the finals. 23-17. Hackworth gets his own rebound off the block, right back onto the tape. and tapped down on the rebound by Hackworth. So SportConX out of rotation 1. But again, work to do here. Needing points on serve to close this gap. Rudenko, one of the guys that can definitely give it to him with some service pressure. Going after that one. What a great pass by Richard. Kubi out of the pipe, right on the end line. Such a good pass there by Lewis Richard to bring up several match points. 24-18. And number 25 in blue, Marty Ross. Big middle blocker out of UC Irvine. Replaces Chris Johnson in here for match point. See if he can get a match-deciding block. Schmiegel to serve. A serve! And in emphatic fashion, the Southern California Rising Tide burst their way into the VLA Cup Finals. 3-1, 25-18 the score here in set number 4. Jacob Schmiegel, the middle blocker, put the nail in the coffin with the ace. And the Rising Tide, a VLA Tier 1 representative in the finals, they await the winner of our second semifinal between the Chicago Icemen and Southern California's Team Rukkus. What a match that was. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Really fun matchup, but it ended up the same way. Rising Tide 3-1 over San Francisco, just as it was in the same matchup on Friday. So a lot more volleyball coming your way. About an hour and 20 minutes until our second semifinal. First serve, 11 a.m. Eastern time between Rukkus and Chicago. Like I said, really looking forward to that one. That was a crazy battle on Friday with Rukkus beating Chicago 3-0. So we will see if we will have an all SoCal final or an all Tier 1 final with Chicago looking to defend their title. Really impressed by the Rising Tide this match, using all their depth, using that 6-2 substitution to great effect, and pulling away in those 3 sets that they were able to win. Stay tuned to our Instagram. I'm going to get some interviews with the guys. Not going to do those here on the live stream, but we'll be posting them on Instagram really shortly. So we'll hear from the victorious Rising Tide. Check us out on Instagram at VLA Volleyball, and then tune in again on this same YouTube channel at 11 a.m. Eastern time for the second semifinal. I'm Rob St. Clair. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're not already, make sure you press that subscribe button here on the YouTube channel. It helps us out a lot, and make sure you don't miss any of the great content we have throughout this weekend and beyond. Check out the website, link in the description for any more detail you could want on this tournament. And that's about it. I think that's a wrap on our first semifinal, the Rising Tide. 3-1 over San Francisco. We will see you at 11 a.m. to play for the championship.